Welcome back to The Person Everyone Needs. I am Webb Hoggard and so excited to be joining you again in the year 2025. 2025, I hope that the new year, new you is working out for you, that all of your resolutions that you were hoping to see come to pass this year, that you have been faithful to them and that you have been following through and all those things. I hope you're already losing weight and your skin already looks better. I hope your savings account is beginning to get populated and your marriage is back on track and your kids love you and your parents are healthy and doing well and your retirement fund is beginning to be funded and your boss loves you and you've got the perfect job and all hope is rising and in all things, all good things are happening for you, happening to you. I genuinely do. I hope that you are finding the life that you have always hoped to see. And if you're not, then today's podcast is for you. Actually, today's podcast is for you if you are hitting all those marks, because I'm going to talk to you today about two things. Recently, I revisited the story of Jonathan, which if you've listened to this podcast, you know how much I love his story. But I recently revisited his finest hour. 1 Samuel chapter 14 is where we find what I think is like one of the very highest moments in all of the Old Testament. Jonathan almost decimates the greatest superpower against Israel. And had his dad not gotten in the way, some incredible things would have taken place. But I'm sure you know the story that Saul, his cowardly ways, gets in the way and they don't fall through to it. But I do want to talk to you about the idea, the day that Jonathan woke up one day and decided, let's go attack this enemy that had been holding them in their tents for a long period of time. Jonathan got tired of waiting. He got tired of hiding. So he decided, today, let's do something. This new year, 2025, I hope you have the mentality. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of hiding. I'm going to go do something. So I'm going to tell you 7 ways to help you change. This is not rocket science, so don't sit back for a second and say, oh, well, I've heard of all these. Well, of course you are. This is the standard way of changing things. So here's the 7. Number 1, desire to change. Most people will never change until the agony of staying the same overwhelms the agony of change. Change is going to cause pain no matter what. So what are you burdened for? What are you burdened to see change in your life? The first thing you need is a desire. And then the second thing is you need to draw a picture. You need to make a plan. You need to have a vision of what you want it to look like. Don't just simply say, I want to lose weight. What weight? How much weight? What do you want to look like at the end of that picture? Cast yourself a vision. If you say to yourself, I want to work my way where I'm saving 10% and I'm putting that aside, that's a great goal. Make it plain. Go ahead and write down very plainly what it is that you want to accomplish. The third thing is then decide to do it. Desire to change, draw a picture, and then decide to do it. Act. Go for it. Actually do something. Stop waiting for it to happen to you and go after those dreams. Do. Go. So 1, desire to change. 2, draw a picture. Number 3, make the decision. Decide what to do. Then 4, go and act. Go do it. Desire, draw, decide, do. Then number 5 is delegate what you can. Get as many people on your team to help you accomplish what it is. If you lack self-control and if you lack willpower, ask a friend who's got the willpower to help you along the way. If you hate going to the gym, see who enjoys going to the gym and go with them. If you don't like doing things alone, then find some other people that will help you get there. Maybe it's in the area of finances. You need to find someone who can help you make those decisions and get on the right track. Get a financial planner. The 6th thing is discipline. Don't give up. Once you've started the action, continue until momentum takes place. Keep pushing up the hill, and eventually momentum will take over and it'll take you on the other side of the hill. You'll start seeing that you have got traction and that your speed is increasing. And the last thing is don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. And so that's how to change. And I was telling this group of people that when we think of visionaries, we always think of what they've said yes to. In fact, we think of people who live happy lives or people who say yes to everything. But real visionaries, they don't say yes to everything. They know what to say no to. Vision takes focus, and focus requires you to say no to far more than saying yes. The yeses in your life should be few, and the no's have to be many. If you're going to accomplish what it is that you want to see, get a vision and say no to everything else. Now, real change makers, real future destiny havers, they know not only what to say no to, but they also know what John Maxwell calls the big mo. They know that momentum is what you need. And so start small, get a few victories, and you'll start seeing that momentum rise, which is exactly what Jonathan did in that story. He decides to attack that hill, and all of a sudden, an entire rout is taking place on the other side of the hill. It's amazing. It's really an amazing story. But the problem is there were distractions. And I want to tell you today, the problem that you're going to face with the direction that you want in your life, it probably is not going to be direction. It's probably even not going to be decision. It's probably going to be distraction. When you start moving in the direction that you want to go, you're going to have other things that vie for your interest, vie for your attention. And so it's in these moments that you got to make sure you don't get distracted. Well, Webb, the other thing's more important. Okay, it may be more important, but you need to make sure that while you are giving some of your attention to this other thing, don't neglect the thing that is your life's purpose now, or the major goal that you have. If the devil can distract you, why wouldn't he? He doesn't want you to find your life purpose. He doesn't want you to find true satisfaction in your life. In fact, most of the people in your life don't want you to. Now, you do have some friends, and if you have any that love you, man, what a wonderful thing. But you've got some people that are rooting for you, that want you to see it. But most people in your life, they don't want you to meet your goals because it reminds them of the fact they haven't met theirs. Now, that's not to say nana, nana, boo-boo, but it is to say to you, don't let anyone get in the way of you getting the life that you want to have. Because if you're living the life that you want to have, most likely, I'm not saying always, you can get selfish, but most people, they don't find satisfaction in being selfish. Most people want a life where we're not only benefiting ourselves, but we're benefiting the world. And that's the kind of person everyone needs. So what kind of distractions can we get? Well, as we start making momentum in the right direction, there are times where we want to save face. And that can look like I want to look like I'm more religious than I am, or I'm more intelligent than I am, or I'm more financially well off. Well, what are you talking about, Webb? How can that be the case? There are times in conversation where we're tired of looking like we're not as intelligent as everyone else. So we start making up stories, or we start telling stories that nobody cares about. How about this one? How many of you, as Dave Ramsey says, how many of you buy cars you can't afford to impress people you don't like? Most of us are driving vehicles that are nicer than what we should be riding because we want to look like we have something. It's a status symbol in a lot of ways. Maybe not all of us. That's not an expectation. I'm just saying that there are people that they live their lives. They want their Facebook, their social media to shine. And so they're constantly trying to think of what other people see when they look at them. Here's another distraction in our lives. I put up division of leadership because in the story of Jonathan, there was a big division between Saul and Jonathan's direction in the war. But what's it look like to you? A divided vision, or two visions, or more than one direction in your life. It's called division. So just two different perspectives can cause division. You can't allow anything in your life to cause the friction in relationships or in your team or in your life. And that takes communication if you want other people to go with you. It takes integrity. It takes fortitude. It takes courage to not allow multiple ideas, multiple visions, multiple goals for yourself to get in the way. Here's another thing. Don't cash out too early. You may say to yourself, wow, I've gotten some good things. This is one of the things I used to fall prey to. I'd lose 10 pounds. How do we celebrate? A dozen donuts. Okay, that's not really, I never ate a dozen donuts, but I would reward my good, healthy decisions by eating stuff I shouldn't eat. I should never eat. But so here's the spoil sometimes. We get so excited that we've put some money in the savings account that the way we want to celebrate is by spending some of it. Don't count the spoil until the goal has been realized. Get all the way to the final point. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by the possibility of getting, here's another thing too. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by getting what you think you want, but not the way you wanted it. Sometimes we can say to ourselves, oh, what I really wanted was this. And if I don't go about it the way I wanted to get there, it's not that big of a deal. But many times it is a big deal. Not only do you want to get there, you want to get there the way you wanted to get there. So one of the other distractions is getting tired, getting worn out, just getting worn out, overwhelmed with how long it takes to get there. Do not lose heart. Jesus said, take heart. In this life you'll have tribulations, but take heart. I've overcome the world. Paul tells us, do not be weary in well-doing, for in due season, if you don't faint, you're going to reap a harvest. Don't give up. Don't allow sin. The way Hebrews says, talking about sin, he says anything that sets us aside, anything that keeps us from chasing in the direction that we've set out to go. And so don't allow sin, don't allow mistakes, wrongdoings, backward thinking. Don't allow that to get in the way. Chase your goals all the way to where they are. And then the last two things I talked about was pretty specific to Jonathan's story, but it was, number one, Jonathan's trial, which is when Saul decided that Jonathan had disobeyed him in a way, and so in the middle of the battle, he was getting ready to end Jonathan's life because he wanted to save face with all of his people. And because of that weird trial in the midst of this battle, Saul decided to stop pursuing the enemy, and therefore the enemy didn't get defeated. What could you get distracted by making bigger than what it really is? Many of us, when we get close to our goals, we suddenly get fixated on people who are getting in the way of us getting what we want, or people who are not doing things the way we want to. It is so simple for us to get distracted by others around us instead of conquering the goal in front of us. Don't allow anybody's behavior or anyone else's choices to keep you from getting to the life that you want to get. Because here's what I know. It's so easy to stop pursuing those goals when you get sidelined by these distractions. And people who are living their best life, that accomplish their goals, and they make a difference in this world, those are the people that everyone needs. I know this to be the case. If you're listening today, you're the person that someone needs. I hope that you'll walk along with us this year as we continue to dig into the idea of being the person that everyone needs.